and welcome to Savagely Delightful, a podcast exposing the schadenfreude nature in all of us. Each week, your co-hosts John and Christy will be coming at you with different stories of people making the kind of dumb mistakes that we all just love to hear about.
Hey everyone, I'm John.
And I'm Christy.
And welcome back to Delightfully... God damn it!
Don't even know the name of it. Welcome to Savagely Delightful, episode number 2.
We didn't think we'd make it this far, so thanks for tuning in,
He
guys.
didn't even remember the name, so...
God bless it. Okay. For the first story of the day, today I fucked up by thinking dish soap was butter. So
Nom nom.
Yeah. So I'm at my parents' house cooking up some delicious chicken tortellini soup and garlic butter breadsticks for my mom and dad. As I stir the simmering soup, a splash hits my shirt. Shit, I really like this shirt and I don't want to stain. I change shirts and apply a little Dawn to the spot to try and remove it as early before it sets. As I hang up the shirt, I realize there's a glob of congealed, greasy something on the side of my hand. My mind instantly thinks, oh, leftover garlic butter from the breadsticks. My hands were otherwise clean, and I do love some garlic butter, so I licked the side
Who doesn't?
Right? Oh, yeah. So I licked the side of my hand where the glob was. Instant regret. There was... That was the hand I had just used to squish dish soap onto my shirt. There must have been some congealed, somewhat concentrated soap on the outside of the bottle. The taste of Dawn dish soap starts stinging the inside of my mouth. Oh God, I'm going to puke. I spit out as much as I can and grab a glass filled with water to rinse my mouth. Instant regret times 2. The water is warm considering, and I was just running hot water in the kitchen for the dishes. The warm water starts causing the soap to foam. I have bubbles coming out of my mouth, foam coming out of my nose, and I can even feel it expanding and trying to run down my throat.
It goes from bad to worse so fast.
And the foam coming out of my nose. I can even feel it expanding and trying to go down my throat and into my sinuses. Ugh. I run upstairs to the bathroom and start dry heaving into the toilet. Nothing comes out. Just bubbles. As if I'm one of those bubble blower toys kids have at parties. I sit by the toilet crying and trying not to swallow more soap and bubbles than I already have. My throat stings. My nose stings. I feel sick. Meanwhile, I hear my dad downstairs completely oblivious to the misery as my mom and asking my mom, so does this mean she's not eating with us? I'm not hungry for garlic butter breadsticks anymore.
Oh, that sucks.
Okay.
Like, completely ruin your appetite for it.
Yeah, but don't kid yourself. You're totally going back to the kitchen and getting some of those breadsticks. I mean,
I would.
Yeah, shit sounds delicious.
You wash out that dish soap taste.
Yeah, exactly.
With a little garlic breadsticks.
Yeah, you still got to get the taste of soap out of your mouth and garlic.
What better way to do it?
Exactly. One of the comments on that story was, I can't believe it's not butter. Just insult to injury.
She couldn't either.
Yeah, that poor girl was like, damn, I'm about to blow bubbles.
Oh my gosh. That would taste so bad. And then just all the bubbles resonating in your throat and just making it that much worse.
Have you seen it?
Like you're gonna have a seizure or something with all the foam coming up.
Yeah, you have rabies.
Yeah.
Like a raccoon with rabies.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Have you seen those the washcloth challenges on TikTok?
No.
So, people will literally take dish soap and put it on a washcloth and get it a little soapy, put it up to their mouth and blow as hard as they can, and bubbles will come out the other side, and they'll put, food color in it, so it looks like rainbow bubbles coming out of your mouth.
Oh, my God. Yeah. No, I'm, TikTok oblivious. I have no idea.
I mean,
That's
I don't
crazy.
have TikTok, but, social media is just...
It gets spread
Exactly.
everywhere.
Even if you're just on Facebook, you still see Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok all on that website and vice versa.
Loops up.
Exactly.
That's crazy though. Imagine somebody accidentally inhales.
There's
and
videos of that
and they just get a bubble
too.
in their mouth instead.
Oh man, have you ever had to eat soap for swearing or anything like that?
No.
I haven't either. But
anytime I accidentally swore in front of my parents when I was younger, they would just laugh.
they didn't care at all. They're like,
because they knew I didn't mean to, so they would just kind of like laugh and be like, don't do it again.
I'd always get the stink eye.
Yeah.
Like, what was that? And you just sit there like, nothing, I promise.
You're like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, so our next story comes to us from Shinesock. And he writes, yesterday I had the misfortune of getting a massive black eye while playing basketball. Even more unfortunate than getting a huge black eye was the timing which happened the night before the most important presentation of my young career. Our story begins this morning when I woke up to find that only one of my eyes would open. After going back and forth and even asking on Reddit how I should approach the presentation given my stunning resemblance to Quasimodo, I decided that I should just own it and do my presentation without doing anything to cover my eye.
Confidence is key.
Right? You just like go for it. Act like nothing is even wrong. Okay, so he said, so I finished getting ready for the big day and presentation, and then I leave for work. The journey to work was interesting enough by itself, as driving with one eye takes quite a bit of getting used to, but I managed to arrive in one piece. I would imagine that would be hard.
Oh yeah, your depth perception would be way off.
Yeah, your depth perception and then like your peripherals and everything would be all messed up. Okay, so he says, as I walk into the office, I am immediately met with stares and could hear some hushed whispers among coworkers behind me as I was walking by. It wasn't long before word got passed to my boss, who came to take a look at the damage. After the initial shock, he just kind of sighed and said that the CEO was going to love looking at that for the next hour. So that wasn't a great start. My heart would sink so hard.
Oh, yeah.
If my boss was saying that too. Like, that would be so much worse.
It's not his fault, though.
No, it's not his fault, but like, your boss coming up and like saying right off the bat, the CEO's gonna love that. Like, that would make me so much more nervous.
Fight your boss.
Right on the spot.
Yeah, just fight your boss.
Get another black eye. Okay, so
Please don't fight your boss.
Yeah. He goes on to say, I gather my notes and computer and go to the conference room to prep for my presentation. As I'm getting the PowerPoint set up, in walks the CEO, whom I've only ever seen in passing. There was an audible gasp when he saw my face, followed by a "what the hell happened to you?" I had decided earlier that I was just going to try and make jokes about my eye so I didn't have to be so self-conscious about it, and responded that I was in a club, but I'm not supposed to talk about it, followed by a laugh. He didn't laugh, though.
Of course he did.
Like, at that point, my anxiety would just be telling me to run out of the room.
Oh, yeah.
Book it, out of there, hightail, gone.
Plus,
bye.
The old Fight Club joke is kind of outplayed. Like, oh, you should see the other guy. Or, like, I'm not allowed to talk about it. That's kind of outplayed. Like, I don't know. It's
Unless he,
overdone.
like, didn't get it somehow.
Yeah, even if the boss didn't get it, then you're just screwed either way.
And he's just like, what kind of clubs is he in?
Oh, yeah. Some, like, secret shit he's not supposed to talk about.
Yeah.
Always nefarious.
Yeah. Okay, so I tried to finish the conversation quickly as other people had started to file into the conference room, and I began my presentation. Even though the first joke didn't go well, I still tried to throw in a few jokes. Like in this next slide, unlike me, you can see, to a few polite chuckles from sympathetic coworkers. I finished the presentation and am thanked by my boss, and the meeting was finished immediately after. I like that the first joke didn't land, and he's like, nope, gotta keep going.
That's some confidence.
Yeah. He started on this journey of just doing it with jokes, and he's gonna end with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a few minutes after I leave the conference room, my boss calls me into his office and tells me to shut the door. Uh-oh. He begins by saying that he could see that I put a lot of work into my presentation, but he was very unimpressed with my unprofessionalism.
Okay.
Right?
You can't do anything about that.
Like, and clearly if he put in the work, it's not like he meant to show up with a black eye.
Yeah, it's not like he didn't care. He obviously cared about it and his job. And yeah, like there's like what makeup and stuff you can use to try to cover it up, but that's still gonna be obvious what happened.
I mean, there was a picture. It was
real big.
Oh, it was big and swollen. Yeah, so even makeup would look a little horrendous. But yeah, I mean, it's not like at that point he could have done anything about it anyway. Yeah. So
there's this one girl at my high school, and she was like the super quiet, timid girl. You know, one of the sweetest girls you'll ever meet. And so one day, you know, we all go to lunch, and we're all just walking around, and I turn around, and she's standing right behind me, and she has this big black eye. And this is like, you know, a 15-year-old girl, and I'm like, hey, like, she doesn't get into fights, no nothing. Yeah. I'm like, hey, is everything okay? Like, I know, like, we aren't close or anything, but, you know, you can talk to me if you need, like, you know, if there's anything going on, you know, I can help you any way, shape, or form. And she goes, I got second at my judo competition last night.
Judo.
Second. And I was like,
girl.
I was like, oh, because she, like I said, she's really quiet and timid. Yeah. You don't know anything about her. But apparently she was just kicking other people's asses and just got a black eye from like a martial arts tournament.
Wow.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect this out of her at all. Like I said, just kind of, minded my own business, this and that. Comes with a black eye. Everyone was freaking out.
Oh, I bet. And everybody probably thought there was like trouble at home or something.
Exactly. Yeah. And everyone was trying to help her. She's like, yeah, you're like the sixth person to talk to me about this today. And I was like, well, I'm glad that you have a support system.
Yeah. I mean, that just goes to show you don't know people's outside lives. Just because somebody has a professional life, like their work life and their outside life don't have to match up perfectly. I think that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so he goes on to say, he said that he had a conversation with the CEO who had serious concerns about me, apparently worried about a potential unsavory life outside of work and inability to be serious in a professional setting. I tried to explain that I was only making jokes because I'm self-conscious about my eye, but my boss refused to hear it. He told me I'm getting a formal warning and that I am one more fuck up away from getting fired, before telling me to leave and go to the doctor to get my eye checked. To top off this wonderful day, the doctor told me it would take about a week for my eye to even open and 4 to 6 weeks before I look normal again.
That's a toxic work environment.
I mean, yeah, for sure.
There's no way I would put up with that.
No. Because like I said, I mean, you've got to have a life in work and outside of work. Mm-hmm. And just because your life outside of work doesn't match up perfectly doesn't mean that it should go against you.
There should be no correlation between what you do outside of your job and what you do at your job.
As long as it doesn't affect it. Yeah.
I was about to say, there's a fine line, though. Because in one of my ethics classes for the degree I'm studying, they were talking about, you know, what you do outside of work and what you do inside of work. So, you know, if you're someone who does work with, like, a lot of, like, you know, high-tier money decisions or something like that, you know, if you go gambling, or this is a very specific instance, but if, like, you have a gambling problem, then, and you get, like, you know, real deep in with, like, loan sharks and that kind of thing, then, like, yeah, you're not really supposed to do that, because then the loan shark can have leeway over what decision you make for the company or something like that. So, yeah, in that sort of sense, you shouldn't really be, you know, doing those kind of things and having that much of a gambling problem outside of work. But if it's as simple as, you know, accidentally getting a black eye from a basketball, that has nothing to do with work whatsoever.
And clearly he put in the work for the presentation. Yeah. So, like, it's not like it affected his work at all. Yeah. So, like, yeah, he maybe fucked up by taking his basketball game really seriously, but, like, that's just fucked up in a funny way. Yeah. Like, your work should not be going after you like that.
Not at all.
They should chill.
Send him my way. We'll catch his hands.
Catch his hands? Yeah. Okay.
So, this next story is submitted by Elephant Rock. And it said, today I fucked up by asking a blind man for his driver's license. And by today, I mean about 15 years ago. While I was a student at university, I had the privilege of working in our campus bookstore. It was a small university, and the bookstore staffed about 15 students, with 2 or 3 of us working at any given time. It was a wonderful experience and a great way to meet new people, and I would highly recommend it to anyone in university or college now. Anyway, one of our semi-regular customers was a mature student, probably in his 30s, who was visually impaired. He carried a white cane and had a beautiful guide dog, and while he wasn't likely 100% blind, since he was regularly buying like print textbooks, he was clearly visually impaired. I mean, he had a sight dog and a cane.
Yeah.
At the time, students could choose to pay for the textbooks with a debit or credit card, or by charging their books to the student account, which typically held the balance of their student loan. In order to charge to your student account, you needed either a student ID card or your student number and a piece of photo ID. So, when this man approached the register with his items, he told me that he wanted to charge him to his account. I asked for his student ID. Sorry, he told me, I don't have it with me. No problem, I replied. All I need is your student number and a driver's license. Absolute silence. My coworker standing at the register beside me slowly turned her head to stare at me in disbelief of what she just heard. The man said with a smirk, they don't really let me drive. I can't remember exactly what happened after that because the embarrassment basically shut my brain off. But I think I said something like, okay, no problem, and charged it without his ID and hid in the back of the store for the rest of the day.
You just black out after that.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
What just happened?
He was very chill dude and clearly found my blunder funny, but it was way too much for me to handle.
That is hilarious. They don't really let me drive.
I mean, it's an honest mistake, too.
Yeah, for sure.
I could definitely see myself making the same mistake in the middle of my shift just trying to get through the day.
Because it's such, like, a normal phrase, too.
Yeah.
Like, you don't normally, like, government-issued ID. Like, that doesn't roll off the tongue. It's driver's license.
Yeah, like, hey, can I see your driver's license? Because you just assume everyone has one.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't think of a blind person or visually impaired person not having one because they can't drive. It's just like you said, just a form of ID.
It would be like an aftermath like that of like, oh no,
yeah,
like blackout, like what?
Just like, fuck.
Right? Yeah.
And honestly, I would probably be too distracted by the dog to think clearly anyway.
You're just like, puppy, you can have whatever you want.
You're like, yeah, can I just get your license, please? Can I pet your dog?
Yeah.
That's all I would really want. It's just to pet the dog.
Just the dog.
Yeah. The suckers are the way to my heart. That's all I need.
Our next story is from Teacher's Pet 5859438E. And they write, background, my husband and I have been married for 5 years. We aren't child-free, we just haven't had kids yet. We talk about it from time to time, but it just hasn't been the right time. And with that, people say all the time, like, there's no right time to have kids.
No.
So, like, I understand, though, a couple being like, this is not the right time, because there are definitely times where it's like, that would be a bad situation.
Oh, yeah.
To have a child at that time. Like, if there's no way you could financially do it or something like that.
Or if you're, like, extremely overloaded and stressed at work or something like that. Yeah, if you can't do it properly, then I know, like you said, there's no proper way, but, like, try to make the best situation that you can.
Yeah. But, so they're not trying to have kids. They don't have kids. They've been married for 5 years, though. So they say, we also have a cat. Recently, our cat started over-grooming. Off to the vet he went, and it came back that his hip is basically gone.
Wait, what's over-grooming?
Like, if you're kind of like how Cricket does, where she, like, licks too much, and then you can, like, lick it raw.
Oh, okay, so, like,
and,
red
like,
spots and, like, kind of bald spots.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Which, like, confuses me, though, because I wonder why you would over-groom from your hip hurting. That's kind of weird to me. Unless it's maybe trying to soothe it?
Well, I was going to say, I don't know about cats, but with dogs, they lick things to heal it.
Oh, so it's probably the same thing.
Yeah, like if their paw is hurting, they'll keep licking their paw to try to make their paw feel better.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. So they go on to say he is starting to get arthritis and it is causing him pain. So we get him meds. Next challenge is to get him to stop grooming.
He can't wear a cone because he also has growths in his nose that cause it to run all the time.
Sorry, that's gross.
If he can't wipe his nose, it is almost fully blocked overnight. Poor kitty.
Sounds like me.
You.
I have to clean my nose every morning. I do.
Yeah. Okay, so they say our next solution is baby clothes. Or like the baby cloths.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, here's where I fucked up. I posted on a local buy and sell looking for 0 to 6 month cloths. I never got any responses, so I didn't think anything of it until I was talking to my mom. There are now people telling everyone that we are pregnant, including my grandma and my husband's boss.
Oh, God.
Why your husband's boss, too? Like, that's none of their business.
No, not at all.
So now we are having to do damage control. Added bonus of I can't drink and have been declining alcohol for the last year due to a medical problem. This is just adding to the suspicion that we're like for sure pregnant. Like
Man.
that.
Don't believe it unless it comes straight from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
Because people just need drama. That's all they want is drama.
Well, yeah, and like especially people in your family, if you've been married for 5 years and they want you guys to have a kid add to the family, then yeah. But like we've had it where like with Leia, when we first got her and she was a puppy, we had to go out and get preemie diapers for her.
Before we get her fixed because she was having her period.
Yeah, so like there's different things that pop up that baby clothes and products are just best for.
Yeah.
And like people should just really stop assuming.
Yeah.
Because it's not your issue. Like you're trying to fix an issue and baby clothes just happen to be the way to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
All right. So for our next story, this is submitted by BlindPelican. And this is about the time they fucked up by accidentally attempting to carjack somebody. So this happened earlier today. I had a dentist appointment and wasn't sure if I was going to be hurting or not afterwards, so I decided to catch a Lyft rather than drive myself.
Smart.
Right? Yeah. Way to think ahead.
Planning ahead. I like it.
Using that head. I scheduled the pickup, got ready, and went back outside to wait. I was expecting a black Kia. After a few minutes, a black Kia pulls up, literally stops 2 feet in front of me. I wave to the driver, walk around to the passenger side, and pull on the door handle. It's locked. I look up, and the driver, a lady, is absolutely astonished and staring at me. Keep in mind, I'm 6'3" and wearing a mask.
Oh my.
She steps out of the car and from the other side just exclaims, "Can I help you?" I ask her name. I ask if her name is whatever the driver's name was, and if she's my Uber driver. She says no, and my heart just sinks. I start hurriedly trying to explain, apologizing profusely. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was expecting an Uber and a Kia, and etc. and all that. I show her my phone, and she points out that her car looks nothing like the picture in the car on my phone. I just looked at the nameplate on the grill and didn't really pay attention to the model. We both start laughing, and 30 seconds later, my actual ride pulls up, so at least I got a little bit of vindication. So, both those people had to be absolutely petrified.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine somebody walking up to your car and just, like, trying to open it and get in?
Nope, I'd fight them immediately. The woman driving the car was probably, like, reaching for her mace or something and ready to take this 6'3" giant down.
And I mean, with everybody having to wear masks, like, especially here in America, like, that just makes it so much more eerie.
Oh, yeah.
Like, anytime you go anywhere, you can't see people's expressions. You can't, like, it just makes it that much more eerie.
Yeah, the driver was probably just, like, blankly staring at them like, what the fuck are you doing?
And all you can see is their eyes.
Yeah, he's like, hello, trying to get into the car. And I remember every time that we've taken an Uber or a Lyft, I've always been, like, super uncomfortable.
You're always on edge. Yeah.
Okay, don't get in cars with strangers, but I know it's an actual service. It's just, like, what I was raised with, what's going on now, fighting each other. So I just don't trust these things.
Yeah.
But it's, like, that's one of my biggest fears is getting into the wrong car. Because, like, if you do, I mean, your day could turn bad very quickly.
Yeah.
You get to the wrong car, I mean, they just drive off assuming, oh, yep, these people think they're in their Uber or something like that, and guess what? You're 10 miles out where nobody can reach you and you're in a bad situation.
Yeah.
And there's so many things that could go wrong, especially like, say if you're like 150-pound female that doesn't know any kind of self-defense or doesn't have any kind of protection or
not suspecting it at all.
Exactly. Yeah. There's so many things that could go wrong there's so many things that could go wrong, and it's just not safe. And so I think everyone should at least have some kind of minor protection. If you're not comfortable carrying a firearm or anything, there's a mace, there's tasers, there's those little whips and stuff for like the bendable sticks that hurt when you smack people with them. Have you ever seen those?
I'm thinking of the snap bracelet.
Yeah. Also, screw all that. Just wear snap bracelets.
Get snap bracelets.
Yeah, you're perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
Best the self-defense you could ever ask for.
And fashion.
Oh yeah. What is that, like 2001 fashion?
I don't even know. Yeah, probably.
2001 to 2003 fashion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's coming back.
Everything's coming back. Don't even get me started on that.
I mean, there was a time that me and my best friend, when we were out at a shopping center with her mom, we were just like lollygagging, talking, and everything, and both her and I go to the either sides of the car to get in the car and go to open it. The doors were unlocked, and as soon as we opened it, we see a guy sitting in the driver's seat, and he just kind of like looks at us and starts laughing because like we're pretty young. We're probably like 13, 14. And he just looked at us and started laughing. He's like, wrong car. Like,
oh my God.
Oh. And like her mom was like a few paces ahead of us getting into the actual right car and just looking back at us like, what are you doing?
Jeez.
So like, I feel for him. I get it. But
do you remember that the movie Glass?
Yes.
Okay,
good movie.
The one before that with just that one character.
Yeah.
Split. Wasn't it Split? Yeah. Wasn't it in the beginning of
Great
that movie when those three women got into the car? Yeah, and he chloroformed them.
Yeah.
One, chloroform doesn't work that fast. It takes like at least half a minute. But still, he
plan ahead with your chloroform.
But yeah, I mean, they literally get into the wrong car, or he was just like in the car and they got into it, and he took all three of those girls. And that's a serious situation. So be careful in Lyfts and Ubers. Don't just assume that it's the right car. Make sure that they have like the Uber sticker or the light or something.
Yeah.
Because that
especially if you're drunk too.
Yeah.
That makes it more sketchy.
That's the best time to do it, so you're not drunk driving.
Yeah.
But still, be careful, guys.
Yeah. Unsuspecting people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my third story comes to us from drcoolnerd. And they write... What? Great name.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like a 14-year-old me trying to find myself.
Trying to find myself.
Embracing.
You're like, I'm smart, but I'm cool about it.
Oh, yeah. It's where, like, you start learning that you can have an undershirt under your button-up or something in, like, junior high.
What?
Don't worry.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Well, for some reason you said that, and I'm picturing, like, Superman.
No, but, like,
under.
Instead of, like, having, like, just a plaid button-up, you could, like, have it open with, like, a basic collar t-shirt under it. Like, the very glimpse of fashion of what it could be. I went through a lot of stuff in junior high, like total like a makeover of who I was as a person, like the clothes that I wore, and my hair was like down to my ears, parted down the middle.
Oh, you had the Justin Bieber for sure.
Well, I switched to that because that was actually what was cool. That was like part of my transformation.
Gotcha.
Before I had it split down the middle. Before like all these kids are doing it now with the wavy stuff. My hair was straight and split down the middle. And I looked like, right? Yeah. And it looked like I had a picnic blanket t-shirt button up that, yeah. And I was like, wait, I can actually open this up and have like a shirt under it? No way. I don't have to wear cargo pants all the time?
No
Mind
way.
blown. Yeah.
Typical white boy.
Oh, yeah. It was real bad.
Okay, so anyways, drcoolnerd writes, this just happened and I still can't believe it. Background. Today I was at the doctor's because I hurt my eye, and he told me that I must try to avoid direct light. I've been going around with a baseball cap and sunglasses all day, and mind you, I live in a country that has no sunlight in the winter. I look like a mentally unstable person walking around like that on a snowy, dark evening.
Join the club.
Join the club! Okay, so they say, I live in an apartment building, and when I was going home today, I took the stairs and accidentally ended up on the 4th floor instead of the 3rd floor. I put my key in the hole to try and open the door, but it's just not working. I figured maybe there's dirt in the keyhole and crouched down to try and blow the dirt out. Little do I notice that my neighbor opened the door and is standing there in complete shock at the crazy lady blowing on his crotch in sunglasses. Another thing to know is that in my country, neighbors don't speak to each other. We do our best to never encounter each other on the stairs, so I've actually never seen this man before. I didn't know what to do and panicked, just saying, I live upstairs, and left.
Is that an invitation?
I didn't think about it like that. They're like, meet me upstairs.
Yeah.
Wink, even though you can't see it with the sunglasses. Like,
Just blowing on the crotch. I live upstairs. And then you run off real quick.
Okay. So then they say it doesn't end here. It doesn't occur to me that I ended up on the 4th floor. I thought I was on the 2nd one, so I go up one more floor.
Oh my god.
Now I'm on the 5th floor when she's supposed to be on the 3rd floor. And I attempt the same thing with another neighbor. I get really frustrated with my key and thankfully realize what's happening before my other neighbor opened his door.
Parallel dimension. You're not
I don't
real.
think I've
Nothing's
ever
real.
run down the stairs that fast. Like, how do you not notice that you went up that many stairs, though? That many extra stairs from your daily
Oh yeah.
stair climb.
I mean, you'd be like a little extra winded. You should know.
Well, yeah, and then like blowing on the crotch of your neighbor.
Yeah.
That I would be so mortified.
Yeah, the first time it didn't work, I would like reevaluate everything and not just blindly go up another set of stairs. I'd be like, okay, where the hell am I? Find out where you are, because usually like places are leveled.
Like numbered.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, and especially opening up the door, and she's got sunglasses on too, so he's probably like, she's drunk right now, or something. But yeah, the other neighbor probably thought that it was like somebody trying to break in if they were home to hear it, because then like noticing what happened and then just leaving, like that would be super scary as the other neighbor too.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'd be like super scared about like my own security and everything.
Oh yeah.
So like, why would you pick my house?
Yeah.
Or apartment or wherever it is.
Like jiggling the doorknob and trying to mess with the keyhole and stuff, and then you open the door and there's nobody there.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine.
That would be terrible.
Okay. So for our next story was submitted by happykittymeowmeow. All right.
It sounds like Sheldon's song. Happy kitty.
Oh, soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur. Why do I know that? I hate myself. God bless it.
I just remember the last part is purr, purr, purr.
I used to have to watch that every, like, what was it, Tuesday or Thursday with my dad.
I don't know.
When it came out.
That's a good show, though.
Okay, let me take that back. I didn't have to. I enjoyed that show. It had a lot of, like, really good, like, nerdy moments. It was, like, a good bonding time for my dad and me.
Good.
But, like, yeah, so I have that song memorized. Yeah. God bless it.
Good times.
Yeah. Okay. So today I messed up by showering my father with shiny disappointment. All right.
Don't we all?
Yeah. So, to start, my father is an exceptionally angry man. How he got such an excitable woman as my mom, I do not know. As we all know, COVID stole Christmas, and this year, my husband and I elected not to see all of the family this year and have a quiet one at home stop the spread. And we did like the same thing. Mm-hmm. We got to see a couple people, but not everyone.
Yeah, for the most part, it was basically canceled.
About a week before Christmas, I was thinking I had to make up for our absence with my mom because, of course, she was sad not to see us and her grandbaby on Christmas Day. Plus, she's been taking care of my profoundly disabled uncle and dealing with my insane grandmother. It sounds like my family. I mean, my grandma isn't insane, but, like, she's been taking care of, like, my disabled uncle and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's close to home. My mistake, I decided to send my mom a glitter bomb. My mom loves glitter, and I knew it would bring a giant smile to her face to open her shiny craft herpes surprise.
Herpes surprise.
So not only did I send her a glitter bomb, but selected the triple glitter option for the extra joy.
Really judge it up. Get that extra glitter in there.
I mean, this sounds like it was created by Satan. Only he would allow a triple glitter option
Triple
on
glitter
an already hard to clean up atrocity.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, glitter is the fucking worst.
Yeah. It's probably by a company, too, that does it in, like, a sinister way.
Or, like, one of those blank
like,
boxes.
Yeah. Send glitter to the people you hate, or, like, there's other stuff like that.
Like I said, created by Satan.
Satan himself.
Yes. My father opened the package.
God.
My father opened the package and had 3 times the glitter rain down upon him after exploding in his face. I wish I was there to see it. And as it described by my brother, he turned purple in his rage, left the glitter all over, called my mom and to yell at her about it. Don't worry, She called me at 4:30 this morning saying he deserved it for being a Scrooge on Christmas, and she only wishes she was there. I can't tell him it was me. He was going to be furious with me forever. He already told my mom that he was disappointed that someone would find that funny. Alternatively today, my father fucked up.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, first off, your father sounds like he deserved it.
Yeah.
But I totally understand his rage. If that ever happened to me, I would just set myself on fire, no questions asked.
Your mom has to be like the most cheery person ever to love glitter.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like only like the people who are like fairies and rainbows out of their assholes like glitter.
There's no way.
Me, no. I would just be completely out of there. Glitter is such a bitch and a half to get rid of that I'd probably just rather, like I said, set myself on fire. Die, cut it out.
Put the house up for sale.
I'm out.
It's messed up.
Yep, I'm out of
There's
this.
no coming back from this one.
Uh-uh.
Okay, so our last story today comes to us from AlchemistDoctor. So, it's time. Having the tree up any longer would have made me feel lazy and pathetic instead of full of holiday cheer. And it's starting to drop needles, so I start on the process of removing the ornaments, garland, to get rid of the tree. I take off most of the ornaments and start on the garland. On garland number 2, I see a few stick bugs that run back into the tree. It's from the forest. If you are normal, no big deal. I go back to get the garland and accidentally shake the branch, and then six tiny bugs fall onto the table next to the tree.
Oh,
I freeze. Wait, those are not stick bugs. I look closer. I had assumed stick bugs because the only ones that I've ever seen are very tiny and sway when threatened in an attempt to move with the wind. Which is so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like, bug defense system.
Like, what are they, cicadas or something?
Well, she said a stick bug.
No, I know, but, like, what are they?
Oh, we'll find out.
Are they cicadas?
They are swaying, but they're not stick bugs. I look closer. They're baby praying mantises.
Aww.
Oh, no, she says. I think praying mantises are so cute, though.
Yeah, we have them everywhere around here. Especially, like, the little tiny ones. They're so cute. They can't do shit.
But they're right. I know praying mantises are supposed to be large. These are not large. These are tiny, which means somewhere on this tree... I look back at the tree and realize what I previously thought was a stubborn pine cone is not, in fact, a pine cone, and is erupting with baby praying mantises. Hundreds.
Oh, God.
Oh, fuck me. I asked my husband, do you care about these lights? No, he says in confusion. Great, come here and help me get this tree into the bag. We've got some bugs. I'm speaking dead calm. And can you get me a vacuum? He's cooking. He does not understand the severity of the situation. The tree is moving, only it's not. It's just the amount of praying mantises shifting on it. In a second, he responds, I do not have a second. I get the vacuum. I vacuum the nest right off the tree and then attempt to get every praying mantis that I can in some bizarre parody of Ghostbusters.
Oh, that's awesome.
No, really, we need to get this tree into the bin bag, I say, calm as fuck, which is wild because inwardly I am screaming because I have creepy crawly sensations all over my skin. I don't know how she's staying calm during this.
Probably just complete adrenaline.
Complete adrenaline, yeah.
Yep.
Ugh, I'd be freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he says. He comes over and holds the tree. I duck under to loosen the screws. 6 fall on my head and neck. I shake them off and keep unscrewing. I feel them anyway. They live in the sensation on my skin now. We get half the tree in the bag when we smell smoke. The oil he was heating in the pan is about to catch fire because he wasn't expecting this to take that long. He rushes back to the kitchen. Somehow he has not had a single bug on him. I am left holding up the tree with no free hands to swat the ones parading down my arms toward my face.
Oh, this poor woman.
I blow them off of me like Gimli trying to blow away ghosts in the mountain. Oh my gosh. I can just picture this lady like freaking out. Ugh. Like inwardly freaking out because somehow she's so calm.
Yeah.
Ugh. He comes back. We finally get the tree and the bag to the tree disposal area for our apartments. I come upstairs and vacuum again, playing Ghostbusters along the wall and ceiling while they are swaying. I start to feel a little bad, not their fault that they were born in my house. Still gonna vacuum them though. Go about my day attempting to ignore the crawling sensation, and I come back to the room a few hours later and there are 6 on the wall. Ask my husband why he didn't vacuum them. He says he couldn't see them. They're so small that unless he got super close, he only saw smudges because his prescription's out of date. No wonder he wasn't freaking out.
Yeah, he didn't even know.
He had no idea.
The woman
And then she's like, why aren't you doing anything?
She's a vacuum like, dun, 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 dun.
Ghostbusters!
Do.
But like, they can still crawl out of a vacuum, can't they? Cause like
not
just,
while it's on, but after it's off, maybe.
Yeah, just vacuuming them will just suck them up. I would think that unless it like crushes them by sucking them up, that they would still like could crawl their little ways out.
Well, praying mantises have an exoskeleton, so it makes it a lot like sturdier, and so it's like harder.
Oh, they're
to crush.
crawling out.
Well, it's harder to crush them.
Yeah.
I would assume as soon as she got done, then just like dump it outside or something like that.
Yeah, it just gives me the heebie-jeebies to think about.
Oh yeah.
Like that's just another reason to never get a real tree for Christmas. Real trees have so many drawbacks.
Oh, and my grandparents got a real tree every single year. And like there was a little bit of sap that drip on the floor, but it was hardwood, so it was easy to clean up.
Yeah.
Same thing, the needles would fall. Hardwood, easy to clean up, and it had like an amazing smell. And the only kind of drawback other than the sap and the needles is that we would have cicadas all over them.
Oh,
and so there'd be like 10 cicada like husks attached to it. There's never like live ones because it's like Christmas time.
Yeah.
And so none of them would be alive or anything, but you just have like all these cicada husks just kind of attached to the tree.
There's so many risks with it, with like bugs and then having to go through the whole disposing of it and picking it up every year. It's too much for me.
The good part about praying mantises though is that they're kind of like spiders because they like eat
Don't compare them to spiders. Well, they do not deserve that. They
have an exoskeleton and they help kill all like the flies and mosquitoes and that kind of stuff.
I think I'd rather have flies and mosquitoes than spiders. But, like, imagine if that was hundreds of spiders on the tree.
Okay, yeah, that's worse. That's so much worse.
That's so much worse.
I'd rather have the praying mantises.
Oh, all day.
So it's not that bad because, like, they aren't going to be as creepy as spiders, but they still get rid of all, like, the really bad, like I said, mosquitoes and flies and stuff.
Yeah, I can't.
Plus, they're super cute if you just have, like, a couple
Praying
of them.
mantises are cute.
Yeah.
There was one for a while that was hanging around our old house that every once in a while I'd go out there and just like make sure he's still doing all right. Like every couple days and he was still there. It was probably like a different one every time I went out there.
Probably. You thought you made friend with a bug, but it's like this new one every time is like,
wow, they're like, who's this lady? Okay. Well, that was our last step of this episode. So I hope you guys liked it.
Thank you for tuning in, and see you guys next week.
See you next week. So, you may have made a mistake today, but at least you didn't mess up as badly as the people we discussed.
And if you did, we'd love to hear about it, and we may even feature your story on an upcoming episode. You can find us online at www.savagelydelightful.buzzsprout.com, on Twitter at savage_delight, and on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Savagely Delightful. If you like what you heard today and want to show your support, please consider donating to us on Patreon at patreon.com/savagelydelightful. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss future episode releases, and please consider leaving a review so it's easier for others to find our podcast.